I had the conversation 2 or 3 times in the past 24 hours about the market it just feels weird. Whether you're buying a house or selling a house, something feels weird and off about the market right now. And Jimmy and I started to get into this conversation about it, and we decided that we should probably record it. This would be a good conversation and a good video. So if you like it, comment, like, subscribe. We appreciate it. And then let us know what you think. Does this market feel weird, or do you perceive the real estate market as feeling strange and odd? Let us know what you think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care where you live in the United States or Canada. You know, I feel like it's the twilight zone when it comes to, and it's not just me saying that. I talk to buyers every day, Bill.
Right.
You know, and I talk to sellers too, because a lot of times when I go do the inspections, you know, they're moving in with grandkids. They just want out. Everything does seem weird. It's just, the market doesn't feel stable, but the economy doesn't feel stable.
Right. Nothing feels stable. Think about it.
Yeah.
We got tariffs on the horizon, so that's a concern. And I guess that's where I'm going with things. Is that it's a friend of mine selling their house out of our Tampa Bay local area here, and they said it's just weird. And they've sold multiple homes. They were a military family, so they've moved a lot. And they said this time it feels really odd, and we got into that conversation.
Yeah, but what I'm running into too is like I'm talking to these buyers and they have to make a decision. It doesn't seem like anybody can make a decision.
That's a great point. And I think I felt like that sometimes. Like, I just can't, you feel overwhelmed. It's like, if I go this way, this could happen. If I go this way, that could happen, because there's so much uncertainty in the market, right?
Well, that's what I tell the people. I was like, listen, I'm just doing the inspection. I'm not the real estate agent, but I mean, if you need a roof over your head, this is the house for you, but it's just like, it's a weird situation. Like, I don't feel like anybody could like pull the trigger. I have one client. I'm not kidding you. I probably did 5 inspections for them, and 4 out of the 5 inspections were good homes, but they go there and they put a deposit down. They hire me to do an inspection, and then I find like the littlest things. Like, I'll find a problem with any home, whether it's brand new or used. I'll find a problem, because that's what you're hiring me for.
Right, exactly.
And they're just like, all right, I don't want it. Maybe there's something better. Are you running into a lot of that?
Yeah, it's not so much that we're putting offers in on things, but it's the conversations that we have before we put the offers in. And we really, I try to get as much information as I can. I stay curious long enough to kind of help the customer out decide things. So, it's analysis paralysis, or too many choices and you can't make a decision.
I just think that, like, I feel weird, things are weird because I don't know which way the economy is heading.
Right.
I talked about it last year, before we even knew who was president. But I don't know where the economy is heading. I don't know if these tariffs are going to end, or because they're doing damage. Okay, and I understand fair trade.
Right.
I don't believe in tariffs. I think that everybody should be zero, and whoever has the better product wins. And I don't believe in government subsidizing stuff just to, beat people prices. But I think it's just that all that uncertainty in everything, it trickles down. Like me, like I was telling you, it's just not just houses. It's cars.
Mm-hmm.
It's boats. Like, I'm shopping for a boat, and I'm like, yeah, it's a nice boat. It has everything I want, but should I buy a boat or should I wait?
Right. You're thinking maybe they're going to keep coming down in price. I see that too, because there's so much information out there on, well, the market's going to keep declining, and then we're going to, some YouTube videos that you and I have seen are, the market's going to crash 50%, and it's, we're going to have this crazy buyer's market, and just hang tight.
But listen, let's address that, okay? Because you guys know that, we have the Exploring with Jimmy B channel too. It's not like they're YouTube people create videos that say, hey, things are going to be, unicorn and beautiful and everything, or things are going to be destructive. People, it's human nature that they're going to watch a video that the title says, the housing market is going to collapse.
Right.
If you do a video, okay, and you say the housing market is going to be great and everything's beautiful and go buy a house, I don't know how many people are going to click on
It's
it.
gonna be like 2 people. People are like, whatever, and they're gonna move on.
Because human nature, listen, I'm not a psychiatrist or anything, but I'm just saying, human nature is like, oh, I'm going to pick the one that's negative. I want to see things crash and burn. I don't know if it makes people feel better.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think, trying to get some solid advice. But you're right. If you look at videos that you and I have both done on my channel or on your channel, it's the thumbnail. But so maybe that's just more, doom. It's feeding doom and gloom, maybe.
But that's contributing to Twilight.
Right.
You questioned the video that I did on my channel today that came out. You're like, I don't understand the thumbnail.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. I mean, the video's doing great.
Yeah, the video's doing great, but again, that's like more of a like you said, it's just it's that weird feeling because it's about real estate. It's just, I agree. It's like weird. Everything's just nothing's focused. Like during the unicorn years, when everybody was just buying, it was like clear cut. You want this house? Yes or no?
Right. Yeah. There wasn't negotiations there, and maybe it's people aren't used to the negotiation portion, which was very common prior to COVID and the unicorn years.
Well, think about it. Like, I mean, the unicorn years lasted, what, 3-4 years?
Yeah. Give or take. Yeah.
All right. So in those 3-4 years, a lot of people entered the housing market that had never been in the housing market, so they didn't even know. And not for nothing, Bill. A lot of these realtors, even home inspectors, became realtors, real estate agents, and home inspectors during the COVID years. They were bored, they were locked down, they had nothing to do, so
Right.
they got their licenses, and then they went into the market and they were selling homes because it was like shooting fish in a fish barrel. It was so easy to get buyers to buy homes because there wasn't a lot of negotiations. Now, 90% of those people are gone.
Right. And negotiation has become kind of a lost art, and people panic when you start to negotiate and they get worried about things. We just did that video on your channel talking about buyer's market versus seller's market. And, we talked about the art of negotiations is gone and that it's normal. And so I'm just trying to think of all the different things that could contribute to things feeling weird. And so what this customer said about their listing, this friend, they said that this is their 5th or 6th move, in a relatively short period of time. So they're a little bit more adapt to the moving process than the average person. So they said that the buyers were different this time. They noticed that they got a lot of looky-loo buyers, not for open houses. That's expected. I understand, because that's just, everybody sees an open house and they want to come and check it out. Totally understand that.
It's neighbors going in there being
it's like I get that, right?
Yeah.
But this was people seeking out an agent, signing it, whether it's an exclusive buyer agency agreement or just a one-time showing agreement, and that agent taking those individuals to look at the house, and they just wanted to see a house, and they had no intentions of purchasing. And in one instance, this person went back twice and then just said, "No, we're not really that serious. We just wanted to see it." And I thought that was very odd. But that happens, I guess. I've seen it. I've dealt with it.
I really think,
I don't know.
I think the weirdness is the whole economy, and don't forget, for the last 4 years, it's like we have 2 different groups of people fighting each other, in the same country. So you have relatives stop talking to other relatives because of political stuff, which I always think was the stupidest thing because, your relatives or your friends are going to be your friends long after, that politician is gone, It doesn't matter who's going to be in the White House or who's going to be a politician. They're going to be gone. They're going to be replaced. But your friends are your friends. Your family's your family.
Right.
But that's causing weirdness too. I think it really has to do with politics, global economics, tariffs, just the unknown, the uncertainty, because I feel it more and more every day. And I don't feel like it's going away. I feel like it's increasing.
Yeah, I think so. And, do me a favor. If you like this video or videos like this, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so that you know when we post a new video. And if you want to have a more in-depth conversation or get some recommendations on an agent or an inspector or something along those lines, we've put together a pretty sizable network group. There's a pinned comment below. Go ahead and fill that out. And if you'd like to have a longer conversation about something or maybe your situation, I'm happy to answer any questions. I think you're right. It's very weird. So what can people do to kind of maybe, if you're entering into the market?
Stop watching the news.
Right. So it's but
Turn
that's
off the
true.
TV.
That's true. So it's information overload, except for our channels.
Yeah.
Okay. But it is. It's information.
It's that simple.
It's think about the average person I forget the stat, but the average person stays on their phone a ridiculous amount of hours per day. And they're watching a movie and they're watching the TV at the same time.
You know, me and Tanya went out to eat the other day, and there was a table, and there must have been 8 kids from ages 8 to maybe 14. And all 8 of them at the same time are on their
phones.
At the same time, and they're around the table that they could talk to each other. And they're all on the phones.
Right. But that's just more information for everybody, grown-ups,
Yeah.
kids, it doesn't matter. It's information overload. So we have this constant flow of news, whether it be negative or positive. Let's face it, it's probably more negative. And then, you know,
like I said before, negativity sells.
right. That's mainstream media and, you know, now YouTube and all the different generational mediums that we have today.
But it's trickling into the housing market.
It really is. I think it's made things a little bit
I guarantee you, if your buyers didn't watch the news for like a while, and then they go shop for the house, they would have a brighter outlook on things. Don't search the internet, because you get so many different opinions, even on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like we could talk about one thing, and there'll be somebody else creating a video on the same exact subject saying the opposite thing.
Exactly. And just so that kind of is a very good point. It leads me to, what can you do? Do for you, right? Don't try to time the market. That never really works out.
That never works.
It doesn't work. If it's the right time for you to purchase or sell your home, then it's the right time to purchase and sell.
I can guarantee you one thing, okay? You could buy a house today, and I guarantee you, in 20 years from now, it'll be worth more money.
Exactly. There's no doubt about that. It's the biggest hedge against inflation that you have is purchasing a home.
Yeah.
And you know, I think that's, I mean, I don't want to beat the dead horse. Let us know what you think. Mm-hmm. And if the time is right for you, do put everybody else's opinions aside and do what's right for you, your family, and in your situation. I think that's the most important. And I appreciate you watching the video. If I can answer any questions for you, please feel free to reach out. I'd love to be your resource of choice, and we will see you on the next video.